everybody. It's Jessica Stone at Stansberry Research. I've got Scott Garliss of the Stansberry Newswire on the line here. And Scott, a lot of little tidbits going into the U.S. China relationship here. We've got U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer on the Hill this week. We've got Secretary of State Mike Pompeo meeting with Yang Jiechi, the top diplomat in China. And all of these things are being watched by the markets because, let's face it, they have something to gain or lose depending on this relationship. What have we learned so far from Robert Lighthizer when it comes to China's fulfillment of the Phase 1 trade agreement?
So far, Lighthizer said things are going well. He said China's purchased about $10 billion worth of goods this year as part of their commitment to purchase $40 to $50 billion a year. And that's really the important thing out of Lighthizer's testimony is going to be the attitude of the administration toward the China relationship. The worry by Wall Street has been that the White House will tear up the Phase 1 deal for some reason. And right now, that doesn't appear to be the path they're headed down.
Yeah, not at all. And some on the politics side would certainly say President Trump needs a win in that department, right? We've also got this interesting development this week, despite all the tough talk between these two countries over Hong Kong, over the national security law, over COVID and whose fault it is that it exists and that it was spread. There is increased trade actually going on between the U.S. and China. How does that square with what we're hearing sort of rhetorically?
Well, it goes against the rhetoric, right? Because all you're hearing from the media right now is that tensions are getting worse, they're dialing up, but China's now become our number one trading partner over Canada and Mexico. That's what the U.S. wanted when they started this trade fight. They wanted to see the trade deficit narrow, to see China doing more business with us versus us doing more business with them. So that would point toward things are moving in that direction.
We've also got this news about Chinese telecommunications maker Huawei actually getting permission to work with U.S. companies that had been sort of blacklisted earlier this year. But that just does not seem consistent with the rhetoric from this administration either. What are your thoughts on that?
So, yes, exactly. They made this change, the Commerce Department. They want to let U.S. companies work with Huawei because basically, if you look at where communications technology is headed, 5G is where we're going, 4G is where we are, 3G is where we were. So they want to make sure that the U.S. is a very relevant part of the conversation going forward. Another reason sort of the trade fight started was the U.S. was worried about, the administration was worried about U.S. technology companies losing their dominance. That would obviously hurt a big revenue stream. There are a lot of profit margins there to be had. That would ultimately hurt tax revenue. Initially they shut down this relationship, and now they realize, well, maybe that's a mistake because if 5G moves forward and is developed without us, we're not going to be part of that conversation. They want to make sure that U.S. companies are still a very dominant part of that conversation. So they've made this change.
Because how really, for the global economy to recover once again, we had seen cooperation 10 years ago in the last financial crisis. Don't we need to kind of see some kind of cooperation between the two largest economies in the world again, get through this economic crisis now?
Yeah, nobody wants to see the fight get worse, and nobody wants to see the tensions or the rhetoric get worse. Again, a couple of weeks ago, when we saw this Hong Kong announcement come out from the White House that they were talking about sanctioning individuals and they weren't going to treat Hong Kong, they weren't going to give Hong Kong preferential treatment anymore, that was the best case scenario in Wall Street's mind. Money managers were worried that the Phase 1 trade deal might get torn up. That didn't happen. So yes, people want to see stasis in this relationship. They want it to be, the same going forward as it was in the past.
All right. Thanks so much, Scott Garliss there from the Stansberry Newswire, always keeping on top of these developments internationally and domestically and how they impact your ability to invest wisely. Thanks for that. And if you would like to see more content just like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.